secretary
where you served is being run by a random man who places trades in a 5-person office for Michael Dell.
Sharky in the Discord brought up a good point. The 900-page document that we were talking about, there weren't any pictures in it, so it was really difficult for MAGA to read it.
They did it, though. Trump made videos for MAGA. That the Trump 47 video, that was him explaining to you guys in pictures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, but remember, Trump said he didn't know anything about Project 2025. He has enacted, I think, like 64% of it at this point.
Tracker. Hold on.
Yeah, it's like over 60%, I think, has been enacted, but Trump somehow knew nothing about it. It's the strangest thing. Like, do you ever get tired of being... And this is the irony, because my favorite thing when you debate MAGA online is they'll come up and they'll be like, Trump won, we won, get over it. What are you under, like, I'm talking mathematically. What are you under the impression that you won?
Yeah. Let's see here. Of all the things that were in Project 2025, 46% of it so far has been enacted. 46%. So almost half.
Project 2025 was wildly unpopular, right? And that's why Trump had to divorce himself from it and be like, I don't know anything about this, because people did not like it.
Yeah.
And all the stable geniuses, it's very much opposite day. On the right, we're like, Trump's never lied and he wants the best for me. And what could ever go wrong? The man who says no men should be wearing makeup and wears makeup every day would never lie or be hypocritical.
Yep. Listen, we're like, what, 6 months in to this shit? Not even yet. Not even 6 months into it yet. And we're almost halfway through Project 2025 already. So there you go. We have not talked about the FIFA debacle yet. Oh my God. Did you see
that? I can't believe I forgot about this. Can I just, like, like the term, like, secondhand embarrassment? Like, people are like crazy because, like, I guess it is pretty crazy he stole the trophy. Like, right. You know what I mean? Like, that is crazy, but like, that's not what was my problem. Like, the amount of shame I felt in my stomach. Well, like, they're literally trying to shove him off the platform. Like,
the president of FIFA was like, "Come on."
They're like,
"Come on,
sir, come here, Orange Grandpa, come on. You can get it. You can get they come on." And the team is like, "Get out of here, weird Orange Grandpa." Oh my God, I've never been. Somebody come get their grandpa.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's oh my God, it is so. Fucking
there's
ridiculous.
Players that talked about it, like I saw an interview with like a British player, like, yeah, we didn't want him up there, like, just won't move.
Oh my God, it was the funniest thing was when the president of FIFA is like trying to coerce him off the stage and he wouldn't leave, and so then the president of FIFA comes back onto the stage and pushes Trump backwards through the group, like, no, you have to get off the stage. You orange buffoon. Get the fuck off the stage. Why was he
I've
on
never
the stage?
Seen
because
a more
he's Donald Trump. And any time that he can be the center of fucking attention, he's going to do it. That's why.
And just, if you don't know about, just Google, like, did Trump steal the FIFA trophy? Like, he took it. It's in the White House, and they had to give the team a different trophy because Weirdo stole the trophy.
Yeah, they photoshopped him out of the pictures because he wouldn't fucking leave. Yeah, it's insane. Fucking sane. He just wouldn't get off the stage. Like, they're like, fucking leave. Fucking move. You don't even. Then he goes back to the Oval Office and whatnot, and he's like, maybe I'll sign an executive order saying that it's football now because they call it football. We call it soccer. Maybe we just call it football from now on. Fucking lunatic, man. Fucking lunatic. This is MAGA's savior, by the way. This is your savior. This
the
is
smart, the best
who-
of the best.
The best of the best. Gonna fucking save the fucking world. The guy who's like, they call it football.
No new wars, guy. No new wars.
Maybe I just signed an executive order calling it football from now on. Fucking.
I think the guy's name I'm talking about is
lunatics.
Cole Palmer. Star Cole Palmer was looking very confused as to why he was up there.
It's like,
Cole Palmer was like, "What the?" No, they hated. Those people hated him. They were like, "Get down!" You could tell they were like, "Get off!"
I was
your
like,
old man.
what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, you know what? You can stay if you can tell me where Chelsea is. Donald Trump, if you can tell me where Chelsea is, then you can stay.
Here's what they say about, okay, I want to get the trivia. So, not so much. According to the Daily Beast, which I have the Daily Beast on my phone, but I'm not going to pull it up because I don't have Apple News undownloaded. Trump didn't just hold up the trophy at one point on Sunday. He actually kept it for himself. The one that the Chelsea captain held up was a replica. Seriously. That's what, and Trump talked about this during the DAZN broadcast of this. This is Trump's quote. They, meaning FIFA, said, "Could you hold this trophy for a little while?" And we put it in the Oval Office. And then I said, "When are you going to pick up the trophy?" So he's admitting that he stole the real trophy and now trying to pretend as if like when you come to get the trophy, so creepy orange grandpa stole and refused to get off the stage while like everyone was yelling at me to get off the stage. And then listen to this. And FIFA president Gianni Infantino said, quote, "We're never going to pick it up. You can have it forever in the Oval Office," Trump explained. Trump apparently also got a medal from Infantino, but it's unknown if he kept it. They gave him his own little medal. Like, you know, when you give like a preschooler who's getting on a plane, like wings,
Yeah.
so they'll calm down and you're like, sit in the pilot seat,
You can fly the plane.
Here's your little trophy.
Here's your wings. Here's your little trophy, Grandpa. You did good standing up on the stage. Here's your
We're literally like, come on,
participation award.
come here, get down, get off the stage.
Come on, guy. Go. If there would have been a Big Mac and a Diet Coke at the back of the stage, he would have been off that fucking stage so goddamn quick. So fucking quick.
He doesn't get it. Like, that was like somehow you ruined the World
Erica's
Cup.
here? Hold on. Erica's here. Let's bring British up to talk about British stuff. There she is. Hi, Erica.
I just sent you, Reece. I just sent you on the cord a video with Reece James, the captain of Chelsea's, comments regarding
Let's listen to
Donald
it.
Trump.
Let's listen to it. All right, hold on. Oh my god. Hold on.
Almost to 200K. Let's get to 200K while we listen to this clip. Tap
All right, here we
those
go.
fingers.
I still feel shocked and angry when I think of that award ceremony. I feel that I was deceived by Trump. Before the game, they told me that Trump would present the trophy at the stage exit. I thought he would leave after presenting the award. When he handed me the trophy, he did not show any intention of leaving as usual. He just stood beside me naturally, even though President Infantino repeatedly extended his hand to invite him to leave the stage directly for Hajlo Infantino's instructions and continued to stay in the center of the celebration. As a result, we Chelsea players could only stand around him to celebrate. Trump was still talking to me at the time, but the scene was too noisy. I only heard him congratulate us on winning the trophy and let us enjoy this moment. Our celebration was completely disrupted by his arrival. Is this the style of a dictator? Everything revolved around himself. Our important moment for Chelsea was ruined by him. It's too much.
And I mean, I think it's fair to say that soccer players, football players, they're not known for their words. They don't tend to talk about anything political ever. And the fact, not just him, but I don't know whether anyone saw the guy that was kind of like literally shocked face. His name's Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who I was starting with. Like, his name's Cole Palmer. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't have two words to rub together, footballers generally speaking, and for them to talk about this is like crazy times. But just to give everyone context who doesn't watch football and watch these big finals, normally there is someone important like a king or a president or somebody who gives out the trophy. They then get off as soon as possible because it is the team's job to celebrate.
Yeah.
It's you didn't do anything.
You did nothing.
You watched the same as everybody else there. Nobody else gets to stand on that stage and celebrate. It's for the team. It's not for you. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's wild. Just so dumb. So dumb.
I have to say, though, if Donald Trump was to support a football team, Chelsea would be entirely appropriate. It used to be owned by Roman Abramovich, who is a Russian oligarch. Him being a Chelsea man is par for the course. But yeah, crazy times.
He doesn't even know where Chelsea is.
Of course he doesn't.
He doesn't know where Chelsea is. He doesn't. I guarantee you, when they're like, there's a big football match happening, he was like, oh, who's playing? Is it the Chiefs? I love that Patrick Mahomes.
Well, what's crazy, what's especially crazy about it is it was a football game between a British team and a French team.
And a French team, yeah.
There was no American representation whatsoever.
No.
It just happened to be played in New Jersey in order to get more Americans into football.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely crazy. If I find any more nice clips, I'll send them to you. But
please do.
But yeah, have a lovely rest of your day.
You too, my
Thanks,
friend.
Erica. You're so lucky to be across the pond.
Oh, I don't know. It's getting bad here as well. So I would where you go.
Your Supreme Court's off the rail.
Oh yeah, the Supreme Court thing's interesting though because we don't have a constitution. The Supreme Court here rules based on previous law, so the government could make a new law next week, completely contravening what the Supreme Court.
We used to rule on precedent here too.
Yeah. Yeah. So the government could next week go, oh, we're going to make a completely different law. But they won't because they're cowards. But
yes.
Anyway, have a lovely day.
Love you, friend.
Love you. And thank you for reminding me. Bring kids and pin dystopia. That's a cool name. We did make it to 200K. Thank you guys all for tapping the screen for Matt. He's amazing and he deserves it. Thank you guys for 200K. Keep tapping. We can do it. I love Erica. I don't know what it is about British accents. It's just, I'm actually an Anglophile, not to creep anyone out, but I really love all things British. Like I do. I know I use a VPN for many reasons, but mostly to watch British TV.
Sure.
What was I feel like I just looked one more thing. Oh, this is, as long as we're doing kind of like crazy things that are happening and people might not know, because I know I never suggest anyone hang out on X, but they're like one of these Trump supporter sycophants. He's a huge MAGA influencer on X. He has like I was just looking it up to make sure. He has like 626,000 followers and his name is Nick Adams. Have you heard about this?
Oh my God. Nick. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to just die? He's the red pilled, like women need to shut their mouths. Like, he's famous for frequenting Hooters. No, and I'm not joking around about this.
6 days a week.
Yeah, apparently he has been to Hooters, is like a Guinness book of to objectify women like more times than any other person. He is going, and if he's confirmed, Trump has made him the ambassador to what is it? Malaysia. This is almost as bad as the what's the abusive football player's name that was almost a senator who's now the ambassador to the Bahamas? Herschel Walker. This is like worse than Herschel Walker.
Here's the thing. This is who Nick Adams is. If
He's also Australian. Should we mention the fact he's Australian?
Yeah, he's Australian. I did a deep dive into Nick Adams a couple of years ago because He's such a fucking lunatic. All right. So here's who Nick Adams is. Nick Adams is the guy who will constantly talk about how men should never hang out with women, that his ideal situation is being in a hot tub with the boys.
You bring your girlfriend. We're hanging out.
No
just the
women
boys.
allowed.
This is not homoerotic in any way.
People were like, Nick Adams has to be a parody account. It's not. It's not.
You know what? That's a great way to describe it. Like, if you saw a red pill parody account, like The Good Liars, and you're like, okay, this is a joke, like Walter Masterson, but it was real. Like, that's what it seems like when Walter Masterson is like doing his MAGA impersonation, and you're like, hey, obviously this is a parody, this is satire, but Nick Adams is not kidding.
Yeah.
He was not even born in the United States, and he's going to be the ambassador to Malaysia.
If you read anything of Nick Adams, like any of his tweets or posts or whatever, you read them and you're like, this has got to be just epic trolling. It's not. That's who he is. Okay. That's literally who he is. He is the guy he calls going. Okay.
Background, the banner of his X page, it says President Trump's favorite author.
Yeah. So let me Nick Adams describes going to the golf course to play a round of golf as having a foursome with the boys. Is how he describes it.
I know. It's like the gayest men are apparently straight, like red-pilled MAGA men, and then they're like, "This is totally straight. There's nothing gay about what I'm doing."
I'm like, my guy, just admit it. Like, you'll be happier. You will be happier. Okay. He is Nick Adams is a fucking lunatic, just straight up. He is just a straight up fucking lunatic. He describes himself.
We need to do a show on him.
His self-awareness is so fucking epic, or his lack of self-awareness, because he constantly puts in like his tweets and whatnot that if you have to describe yourself as an alpha male, you're not an alpha male. But his username on Twitter is Nick Adams parentheses alpha male.
Thank you for remembering that, because I couldn't remember that. So Matt, and it has been for years. Now that he got this appointment, they made him change it. I bet Susie Wiles was like, "What the is this?"
Yeah,
So he changed it now. It's not there, and it's been. And I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, "This is a parody account. Like he's kidding. He's not kidding."
No, he literally. And that's why people would see that and be like, "There is no way that this is a real person," right? Because there's no way that somebody is lacking in self-awareness to that degree where you're like, if you have to describe yourself as an alpha male, you ain't an alpha male. And then your name is Nick Adams parentheses alpha male.
If you ever, and I again never suggest anyone go on X, but if you just look up his account and I want you to read it as if he's a closeted gay man, allegedly. Just see, his full-time job, if I could describe it, is like Trump fluffer. Like, it's
100%.
He's just 24 hours a day is fluffing Trump. July 13th, 1 year ago today, we almost lost the last great lion on earth. I can't do this.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. Democrats are now upset with JD Vance for being a good father and spending time with his kids. President Trump holds more press conferences in a day than Joe Biden did in a month. What does that mean? Like, oh God, we should just give up. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm telling you, listen, seriously. He is the quintessential red pill bro. Okay. He brings nothing to the table. He provides no substance to anything at all. Ever. but the man has been 100% in Donald Trump's back pocket for the past 10 years. And he is all in on him. And now Donald Trump is too. Donald Trump is all in on fucking Nick Adams. And
doesn't need smart people. You know, he actually, and think how scary of a position that is when you have someone as smart as Trump, whose like ego requires that he install people who are less smart than he is. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what he learned in his first term. No more General Millies. No more people whose brains work. Like, I don't like that. I don't like when people know what the law is and challenge me with the Constitution and have a spine. Like, no more Mark Millies. Got to get 16 hours ago, his post, I trust in President Trump completely! Exclamation point. So a lot going on up there. Bless him.
I'm telling you. If you didn't know, you would read that and be like, this is an epic troll. This is an epic troll. Reading through some of his posts, you're like, this dude is masterclassing for trolls.
What if it was like it would be the greatest? Like if it came, like,
but if it turns out like he gets all the way up into this thing and then he's like, you know what? I've been trolling the shit out of y'all for 10 years and this is what it got me. I'd be like, hats off to you, sir. Hats off. You are a master of your craft. You win all of the prizes. You did it. But
breathing in the claw machine. I know for real. Like. And I was thinking about, I was like, this is so strange. I think Trump was probably like, okay, you've been fluffing me for 10 years. Like, what do you want? And he probably was like, he's like, I'm a passport, bro. Like, can you just install me full time in Malaysia so I don't have to fly back and forth anymore?
Yep. Yeah.
Then Benny Johnson, and Benny, if you know who Benny Johnson is, that's another Trump influencer who's out of his mind. But even Benny Johnson is pushing back about the Epstein files.
Oh, it's so wild. Yeah. Oh my God. So much. This is what happens when a fucking lunatic is in charge. There is so much that happens all at once that you forget like some of the crazier shit, you know, like I forgot about Nick Adams being appointed, you know, as the
and I forgot about the FIFA thing.
You forgot about FIFA. It's just like, oh my God, like this whole fucking thing.
This true flooding, like flooding the zone. It's like on a level never before. You can't even care things that would be. And again, MAGA, this is how logic works. You would be outraged, right? Joe Biden had one of the most qualified cabinets of all time. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't good enough for you. Now, these people are not qualified. It's like sending your mechanic to be an ambassador of Malaysia. Like, the ambassador of France, you know who's the ambassador of France? Benjamin Franklin, which I could go into. Benjamin Franklin wasn't the best person, but that's another topic. But it's a historic ambassadorship. You know who's the ambassador of France now? Jared Kushner's dad, who
got pardoned by Donald Trump,
got paid for a pardon. And one of the things that good old Charles Kushner tried to do was frame up his sister's husband by entrapping him with a lady of the night and having it filmed to keep him from testifying against him in his felony fraud trial. Mm-hmm. Yep. He did this to his own sister, entrapped his sister's husband with a lady of the night and had it recorded to try to intimidate him from testifying against him. This is our ambassador to France. I'm just going to breathe slowly.
Yeah. Israel is bombing Syria. Because
I'm so sorry, mechanics, because I love mechanics. And yeah, someone said as a mechanic, I'm offended. That's a good point. Like, actually, mechanics are smart people, basically engineers. So I shouldn't have said that. I did not mean that. And I love men that work with their hands. And I wanted to be, I took autos in high school. And I also kind of wanted to be one, but then, and we had autos in high school, but then our teacher just made us put a lift kit on his truck. And I was like, this is like child labor. Like, we didn't learn anything except for he's like, we're going to lift my truck. And we're like, what?
Israel. So here, okay. Let me put this out there. I need to do a video about this also. Do you know the story of Saif Musalit?
I know the name, but no, okay, I need you to tell me.
Saif Musalit is a U.S. citizen. Attacked on Friday. His family said that Israeli settlers surrounded him for 3 hours and assaulted medics who tried to reach him. He was, according to his family, beaten to death by Israeli settlers in the West Bank. In a statement, the family described Saif as a kind, hardworking, and deeply respected young man working to build his dreams. And since 2022, Israeli forces have killed at least 9 U.S. citizens, including Al Jazeera journalist Shireen Abu Akleh. None of those cases have resulted in criminal charges.
And so they knew he was an American citizen and targeted him?
I don't know.
Just curious. I mean, those settlers.
He's a Palestinian U.S. citizen.
Palestinian American, yeah.
Yeah. Who was in the West Bank, and according to his family and people there, was beat to death by Israeli settlers who then surrounded him for 3 hours and assaulted medics who tried to get to him.
Very much intentional and cruel and horrific and prolonged. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Ugh, I just cannot. Like, I could say so many things, but if we're not using, which I don't think there's a justification for the size of our, we've had the largest military, and for some reason people believe it always needs to be larger. But if we're not using the U.S. military to resist authoritarian rule, authoritarian aggression like this, what are we doing here? Like, that's the only thing. Yeah.
I mean,
and understand how all this is affecting like everything. No new wars, Trump, right? There was going to be peace. There was going to be prosperity, and the opposite has happened. This is a quote from the Wall Street Journal. So this is the U.S. dollar index, which compares the U.S. currency, right? It's the exchange rate of U.S. currency to a basket of 6 others. Just posted it's the worst first half of the year in more than 50 years. The dollar has tumbled 13% against the euro this year and 6% against the Japanese yen. Trump is just devaluing.
Winning. Hey, it's good though. It's fine because we're setting up a crypto central currency. So it's fine. So we can devalue the dollar and move everybody to digital currency. And then there you go. Boom. Problem solved. And nobody gets taken advantage of, and this is all legit, and there's no need to have the SEC regulate it at all, ever. So there you go. Boom. Fucking problem solved. Freedom. We did it.
People were, when the big, beautiful bill passed, people were like, oh, well, what's the immediate effect? Just understand, like, despite Republicans making up fake math, we have to borrow $3 trillion. We're borrowing $3 trillion, and the immediate effect is interest rates skyrocket. So whatever you have a loan on goes up.
Like, on top of that, because it added over $2.5 trillion at once to the deficit, it's going to enact the Pay-as-you-go Act, right? The Pay-as-you-go Act says that if you add X amount of money to the deficit without a way to offset that income loss, then you have to pull it from mandatory spending somewhere else. One of the first places that money is going to be taken from, and it will happen at the end of the year. $500 billion from Medicare will be pulled to cover some of this big stupid bill. It was over $3 trillion. I'm saying the pay-as-you-go bill says that if you add something like $2.5 trillion all at once to the debt,
It's 2.3.
yeah, $2.3 trillion.
It's, you know what it is when the deficit gets above 2.3 trillion. It's kind of
Right.
like an alarm bell, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, we're blowing out the deficit. We're going to have to borrow 3.3 minimum. Actual math
Yeah.
is probably closer to 3.8. So now that the deficit's going to raise above 2.3 trillion, it triggers the Pay As You Go Act, and Medicare will be robbed, and other things too.
$500 billion of it gone.
Trump stole from Medicare. We're not
Yeah.
talking about Medicaid.
See, this
We're
is
talking
what I'm
about
saying. Like,
Medicare.
This is why it is so important for you idiots to use just the smallest amount of critical thinking. Because yes, if you look in the big, stupid, dumbass, ridiculous bill, right? It doesn't say anything about Medicare cuts in there at all. It says nothing about Medicare cuts. So when we were like, it's going to cut from Medicare, you're like, that's not in the bill. It's like, no shit, dumbass. Of course it fucking isn't. There are other laws in place that are going to trigger and pull that money. You're so fucking stupid. You are too stupid for your own good. You are too dumb.
Truly, I mean, that's truly, and that's very, I mean, and not to be mean, but that is true because you have to understand, you are not winning. Like, whilst we are all sitting here talking about being robbed, you are also being robbed, but you continue to scream that you're winning. So we're worried about your mental health and ability to figure out what's going on and how it affects you. Like, that's what we're trying. And respectfully, disrespectfully also to some of you who are mean to me.
Oh, I'm disrespectfully to all of you that voted for it. And if you voted for Donald Trump, you voted for this. So all the disrespect that I can muster out of every cell in my body.
And the conservatives passed the Pay As You Go Act. And I just want to be clear. Yeah, it's 500 billion. And if you're like, if you really want to look more into this, just look up the Pay As You Go Act. But it's around 45 billion a year for 10 years. It's right. Like that will just, and that's because at least there's a 4% cap on what they can steal from Medicare. So that's why it's only 500 billion. And there are other buckets. I think there's like 5 or 6. You can
There's like
look
5
it up
or
yourself.
6 of them.
Yeah, buckets where they're going to steal money from as well, appropriated funds.
To pay for this stupid shit. It's going to pull money for, the next 10 years. It's going to be $500 billion over the next 10 years. That's going to be pulled to pay for the top 1% to be able to write their private planes off as fucking tax write-offs.
Again,
We did
MAGA.
it. Fucking winning.
45 years of trailing data we have. Nothing is trickling down.
No.
Wait, and I'm saying this from corporate, right? When we don't make corporations pay taxes, does that result in higher wages or them investing in pensions for their workers or improving, health insurance and giving it to their workers for free? Absolutely not. It results in stock buybacks.
Question for you, Felice. Do you know Elon Musk's net worth in like 2012?
What was it?
It was like $2 billion in 2012. Do you remember when
That'd be a
Donald Trump?
good chart.
Do you remember when Donald Trump passed the Tax Cut and Jobs Act in 2017?
I
And
do.
gave a huge tax break to the top 1%. Do you know what Elon Musk's net worth is now?
Like $500 billion?
Yeah, like $460 billion, something like that. It's weird that Elon Musk in 14 years, right? 14 years from 2012 to now increased his wealth by how many hundreds of percents? From $2 billion to $460 billion in 14 years. That's crazy. How do you do that? How do you do that? And he's not the only one. Who was it? Mark Zuckerberg. He went from like $3 trillion up to, $120 or the $3 billion up to $120 billion. You know, you've got
huge transfers of wealth and changes and lobbying, right? Citizens United started it, right? Once money, unlimited dark money could enter politics, they lobby for these policy changes. And by the way, question. Go ahead.
One quick question. In 2009, the federal minimum wage was what? Do you know?
2009. I mean, what was it, like 11? I don't know what the federal
minimum wage
before Biden. It was $7.50. Yeah, before Biden raised it.
Do you know what the federal minimum wage is right now?
Well, wasn't it supposed to be 17 or something? Or Biden was going to raise it and then they undid that, right? Is that correct? I know it was supposed to go up. No, right, what is it? Do you know what it is?
It's $7.50.
Yeah, because Biden's plan.
It's $7.50. So from 2009 to 2025, the average everyday person, working class individual, has been at $7.50 as I'm sorry, $7.25. Excuse me. Thank you. $7.25 as the federal minimum wage. That is the lowest that you are allowed to pay somebody, and people are paid that. Okay? $7.25 from 2009, because that's when they raised it the last time, was in 2009. They raised it to $7.25.
And when Biden got in office, he signed an executive order that raised it to 15. Because I was like, I know I'm not.
Right. And they struck it down.
It was supposed to go, and then furthermore, in 2020, this year, when Trump got back into power, it was supposed to go up to $17.25, and they same thing. Why would they do that, MAGA? You ask yourself, if they care about you, why would they let wages never grow as inflation grows, as the price index increases? Why are wages not outpacing inflation?
Here's what I want to know. Here's my question, because they'll be like, well, if we give tax cuts to the top 1%, it'll benefit everybody. Okay. So let's just go from 2012 until now. Are you, 1,700% better off than you were now than you were in 2012? I guarantee you're not. Elon Musk is. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates, all of them are living the high life. They've exponentially grown their wealth. Exponentially grown their wealth.
Too large a word, Matt. You're going to have to try to explain that.
It's $15 an hour in some states. The federal minimum wage is not $15 an hour. The federal minimum wage, saying that across the country, you cannot pay people less than this amount, is $7.25. New York State has a $15 minimum wage. New York State does. So if you are paying people in New York State, you have to pay them at least $17 or $15.
The state, yeah. States' rights, brother.
Yeah, but in other states, a lot of the states in the South, a lot of the very Republican states are still paying people $7.25. So, I mean, that's the thing. Like the federal minimum wage has not gone up since 2009.
Well, and
$15 an hour is not even a minimum, is not even a livable wage. Okay, $15 an hour is not a livable wage.
Period.
There is not. Here's the thing: there is not a state in the country that you can work a full-time job for minimum wage in that state and afford to live. You can't. There is not one.
And understand, even health insurance has been taken away. Any subsidies that were helping people who were being pet in red states who are living in poverty survive, all of that's being taken away. The other immediate increase I think we haven't talked about is electricity bills, right? And I'm saying specifically in red states. And I'm going to say here, I think you'll love this, Matt, and maybe you can put it up behind you or something. Look at this chart, Robert Reich. Americans' electricity bills are predicted to rise by as much as 18% over the next decade, thanks to the cuts to clean energy production in Trump's big ugly bill. Red states are likely to see, and this chart is fascinating because you can see the bars of like red versus blue. Red states are likely to see the biggest increases. Trump put his big oil donors over his own voters. Missouri, Kentucky, South Carolina, Oklahoma, North Carolina, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Florida, all the usual suspects. Look, and do you know what? Because clean energy, wind and solar, and I say this, like, it's like, what's the path to the cheapest energy bill wherever you are? That it's just, there's got to be options, right? Like, and if you're in the northern jet stream, okay, wind is that's very valuable and cheap. There's a lot of wind in the northern jet stream, right? But I live surrounded by mountains. In Phoenix, hey, solar is where it's at, right? Like, we can get very cheap energy from solar. There has to be comprehensive energy policies and a shift to clean energy. But Trump was bribed to do otherwise. And it's not benefiting anyone. Oh, and also, it's so funny you brought up this wages thing. Because you know how Gavin Newsom lost the plot for a little bit and became a weirdo and started just like fluffing Steve Bannon for his job? Well, but before he did that, you know, the reason I was never a huge Gavin Newsom fan, but I've always noticed like this man has an eidetic memory. Like he has a photographic memory. He can debate. I want to just list, Gavin Newsom was talking about what you're talking about red welfare states and the poverty levels. I was just like, yesterday I saw a glimpse of the old listen to Gavin Newsom. I'm like, oh, are you done fluffing Steve Bannon and Charlie Kirk and you're going to go back to the person that we were considering electing president? This is just like 45 seconds. Listen to Gavin Newsom just go off about the red welfare states. It's particularly Texas.
From the game played elsewhere is innovation, entrepreneurialism, more patents, more engineers, more researchers, more Nobel laureates in my state than any other damn state, more Fortune 500 companies in my state than any other state. Look that up, because I know people are rolling their eyes and say, no, it's Texas. You're wrong.
It's true. I looked it up.
And we're, by the way, a donor state. We provided $83.1 billion more than we received from the federal government. Texas took $71.1 billion. I'm not saying that to bash Texas, but you know what? Pretty proud of my goddamn state.
I saw that
above
too.
Our weight, man. But AI.
Can you repeat those numbers?
$83.1 billion. We provided more to the federal government than we received. The same year that Texas received $71.1 billion more than they provided to the federal government.
So you're net positive.
Net positive. 9 out of 10 of the donor states are Trump states, and I don't mean that pejoratively, Trump. 7 of the 10 are Republican states, but 9 out of the 10 dependent states, welfare states, are Trump states. The
Now here comes the kill shot.
donor states disproportionately the blue states. 71% of the country's GDP comes from blue counties. These same crack-up counties with all these crazy liberals that can't get out of their own goddamn way and the world's come to an end. It's 71% of the economy of the goddamn country, man.
That's the Gavin Newsom I used to know. 70, and understand this, even if you're in a quote unquote red state, right? The blue counties, right? Where commerce is happening, the cities, blue counties, the 71% of the gross domestic product is being produced in blue counties. But we're the out of control, crazy people that can't get out of our own way. Well, you're all on welfare.
Yep. And look, here's the thing. I don't care that you're on welfare. I don't care that you have SNAP benefits and Medicaid and Medicare or HEAP or renter's assistance. I don't care. That's what tax money is supposed to be used for. That's what a government is supposed to do. It is supposed to provide for the general welfare of its citizens. That is literally what our government is tasked with doing. So I don't give two shits that more red states are taking money versus blue states. I don't care. What I do care about is when those same red states start dogging on the blue states because you all have it in your mind that it's the other fucking way around and you're not okay with people being on welfare. You're not okay with people being on SNAP. You're not okay with people receiving renter's assistance or HEAP. You're not okay with that. That's the difference. The difference is, and I saw that the quote come through the chat way earlier in the live, where it's like Democrats will feed 100 people so that one person doesn't starve. Republicans will starve 100 people so one person doesn't take advantage of it. And that's the difference. That's the fucking difference right there, is that I don't care that you need help. I don't care. You should get the help that you need. If you can't afford to pay the utility bill in your house, then there should be assistance there to help you keep the lights on for you and your family.
The heat or air conditioning, right? Like it's illegal in a lot of states to not have heat because your family will freeze.
Yes. Texas should be on the nationwide power grid so that you all don't have to deal with these wild fucking blackouts every time the fucking state experiences a once in a lifetime fucking winter storm for the 5th year in a row. Right? Like I don't care that people need help. I don't care. Right? What I do care about is those people that are receiving the help, demonizing the people giving the help because you're too stupid to know that you're being taken advantage of. Look, I'm going to hurt your feelings. You're dumb, okay? You are dumb. You are not smart enough to have these conversations. You're just not. You are just not. You think that red states, because that's where the farms are carrying the GDP of this country. And at one time in the history of this country, that may have been true at one time. It isn't now. It's not farms providing the money that fuel the economy in this country. And before you get it twisted, I'm not saying farming isn't important. I'm not saying that farmers don't deserve support or care for what they need to do. They provide a essential service to the world globally, not just the US, everywhere. But when you have people that will demonize the blue states like California and New York, who are net positives to the federal budget, who give more than they take, demonized by the people that are taking more than they give because you don't like that trans people exist in those states or that queer people can get married in those states. That's where I have a problem. That's where I have a problem. I don't care that you need help. Happy to give it. That's what we're supposed to do as a country. But if you're going to spit in my face every time you take some of my tax dollars to pay your fucking rent, I'm going to have a problem with you.
Oh, exactly. And California, due to climate crisis and poor legislation to prevent it, enacted again by conservatives, and California has some softball size balls of fire raining down on them and it burns down. That's like saying to the person that's kindly helping you survive in welfare states. And again, this is not necessarily about SNAP or whatever. I'm talking about the taxes that California is paying to the federal government are then being doled out to red states to keep them afloat. I mean, understand that. And if you're like, why is Gavin Newsom bringing up Texas? Because if you pulled up a map and looked at who's giving more to the federal government than they're receiving, Texas would show up as a state that was doing that. But what Gavin Newsom was saying, hey, actually, when it's the line items are all said and done, no, they might be paying more federal taxes, but then they're still getting more money back from the government for other reasons, right? Which my guess is, I don't know, border state, could be a lot of reasons, but so is California. Like, that's the point. You don't spit in the face of people who are helping you. You don't imply, and we can talk about states, but it's not about that. It's about counties, right? It's about urban centers. Yes. Which MAGA likes to tell this story that they're, S-holes and nobody wants to be there. That's where all the money's coming from. That's where the smart people are.
That's where your orange savior made his fortune was in one of those urban metropolitan liberal fucking cities. Every single conservative billionaire makes their money in those same liberal fucking epicenters that are demonized by you all. Elon Musk made his billions selling electric vehicles to progressives that wanted electric vehicles just so that he could go out and say that they were all fucking stupid. Okay? And I mean, it's because Elon Musk is fucking dumb, but, you know, he's a terrible businessman. Just because you have hundreds of billions of dollars doesn't mean that you're a good business person. It means that you know how to take advantage of people very, very well.
And
You're
just because
very
you
good.
heard it on Fox News doesn't make it true. I think like that's MAGA's problem. You hear something and you take it as gospel, right?
Yeah. What?
What did we do? Why am I in trouble?
Why are you getting... Okay, drop down and come back up.
Jesus.
Oh my God. TikTok's like, you have to remove Felice because she's saying... I was like, she hasn't said anything. I'm the one yelling. Oh my God. TikTok. Jesus Christ.
I'm always in trouble for something.
You weren't even talking. I was the one yelling and screaming. I don't know.
No, I mean, who knows?
I mean,
like, this is my life. Blame
I am a
the
white
woman.
man,
That woman's
so-
up to something.
I'm a white man, so of course
That's
they weren't
true.
gonna-
They're like,
they
that
weren't gonna
woman
get me.
probably made him say that.
It was her feminine
It's
wiles.
witchcraft. It's
Her
witchcraft.
feminine wiles over there.
No, for real. I mean, if I should start reading out my violations of my lives. But yeah, I mean, that's the bottom line. We have 45 years. Sorry, where I find my background, I'm just going to yell things. We have 45 years of trailing data. Yeah. When you don't tax corporations and rich people, nothing trickles down.
No,
nothing gets better. They get exactly like exponentially. That's too big a word, and you're going to have to Google it.
lot.
But they get exponentially richer, not just slightly richer, while we get poorer. And those transfers of wealth, that's the wealth they're taking from us. So when you, like, when I have to sit on lives with Republicans and they're like, well, Art Laffer said, if you don't tax people in states, that the states get richer. No, that does not seem to be the case, but thank you.
Yeah. I always like to point out, excuse me, when was the quote unquote golden age of the American economy? And they'll be like in the 50s and 60s and early 70s. It was like, awesome. What was the top marginal tax rate in the 50s, 60s, and early 70s? And they'll be like, oh, I don't know, like 13%. And I was like, you're a little off. It was like 93%. What was the corporate tax rate in the 50s, 60s, and early 70s? And they'd be like, oh, I don't know, like 14%. I'm like, you're off a little bit again. It was 55%. And do you know what's crazy about those tax numbers is that the rich were still stupidly wealthy, but so was everyone else.
Remember, MAGA, you want to go back to trad wives and one job per household and the wife stays home. You want to go back to that? Yeah, that's the top marginal tax rate. And then when you talk about that and you point out, oh, it's 90% or what, upwards of 90%. And then they say, my favorite lie is, does anyone deserve to have 90% of their income taken? No, that's not how progressive tax rate works, is it? It's just 90% above a certain amount.
Yeah.
That's what progressive tax rates are.
This is why I say you all are too dumb to have these conversations, because you hear 90% tax rate. Nobody should be paying 90% for taxes. I was like, yeah, they're not, you smooth brain moron. Nobody ever paid 90% of their income in taxes. But if you made over $1 billion fucking dollars, that got taxed at 90%. Guess what? You still had $1 billion fucking dollars. So I don't know what you're upset about. You've still got more money than you will know what to do with in 4 fucking lifetimes. But guess what? Now people aren't starving to death on the fucking streets. What a concept. Fucking crazy. Sorry,
Even
you
Tucker
can only
Carlson
buy
said
one
that.
obscenely large yacht.
Even Tucker Carlson was yelling that at that crazy conference on Friday. I was like, when Tucker Carlson is the sanest person now, like, we all need to give up. I mean, he was literally, that's what Tucker Carlson was saying.
Yeah.
He's like, are my kids going to be able to have a job?
No,
Can they
they're
even be
not.
middle class?
Because
Can they
we
even
just
have a hope at a future?
$4 trillion to the ultra wealthy is literally what we did. We just transferred $4 trillion out of our pockets and the pockets of our kids and their kids into the pockets of 13 fucking people. That's
Happening
what
with
we did.
Texas Patriot. Are you okay? Is everything okay down there, Texas? Oh,
Everyone
facts.
bitching has never done the math.
Are you serious? If you Texas Patriot, are you the first MAGA person who has done the math? Because I would love to hear. I'm so interested in hearing that because I do fancy myself someone who can do math. So I would be curious what type of calculations you've been doing, sir. And I just want to be clear on this. One of the lies that has gone on about the CBO, who is run by a Republican that voted for Trump's nonpartisan statistical analysis of the big, beautiful bill. One of Trump's lies is it doesn't factor in economic growth. It absolutely does. The statistical model does, in fact, factor in economic growth. Like, so I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I just need to say this. Facts. Thanks, Steve. Facts don't matter. Thank you for the $5 of Venmo. He said for the MAGA electricity bill rate hikes. You know, states' rights, brother. And actually,
Hey,
facts
Texas
sent some.
Patriot, where are you? I sent you an invite. Why
Oh, he's probably ran away very quickly. I
he's
think I might have talked
literally
to him
not
before.
said anything since I've invited him. Literally didn't say anything.
No, but I mean this genuinely. If you have some insight into how the math is not the largest transfer of wealth in one single bill in U.S. history, which most economists agree on, I would love to to hear that because that would be great news because I'm terrified.
Who is this?
Facts also said from 2018 to 2022, the federal distributions to red states totaled 10.3 trillion, even though they contributed only 7.3 trillion, making them net beneficiaries. Isn't that ironic of $3.3 trillion? Which maybe they should give it back so we can pay down the deficit. Blue states paid in 10.7 trillion, but received only 10.3 trillion. That is fascinating. And there's our money. That's so weird.
Who is this Democrats for Trump person?
Oh, I mean this genuinely. No.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm so rarely say that, but
Okay.
he's very mean.
Okay, good. Then perfect. He was
And
following
how
me,
often
so.
do I ever say that about him?
No, that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
I used to know him, but he was really mean to me and cruel. And he would like attack my appearance and say horrible things about me all the time.
Well, there you go. Well, I just blocked him. So, yeah.
Someone guess what? Someone knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, I'd literally never seen that person
Well,
before.
yeah, I don't care if people are mean, but like, yeah, like if you just like go around and say mean things about the way I look, like this was like a year ago or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
It was,
I don't know. Whatever.
He was really mean to me.
Well, now he can fuck off.
Yeah, just I mean,
unusually
cruel.
I've never seen that person before, but I've seen a bunch of people being like, "Go away, David."
No, yeah, no. This was I mean, it was a while ago. Oh, I just hit my mic.
Jesus.
It was a while ago, but it was like it was really cruel. And like this is gonna sound crazy. I'm not. I don't want to say I was friends, but I thought we were like kind of like cool. It was pretty. Like I cried for weeks about it. I could cry. Look, do you hear? That's how serious I am.
No, good. Well, that's all I needed to just block him. I don't give a fuck. Fuck that guy. Fuck that dude. He doesn't even get to chirp in the chat. He doesn't even get to watch the live. Fuck that guy. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, I don't look amazing, but you don't need to put either does he. So,
That is a damn lie, Felice. You're awesome.
thanks. Anyways,
You're
let's not talk about. I was not going to say anything, but I don't know why that came out. It's just Trump is making me crazy. And what were we talking about right before that? Oh yeah, just
the economy and red states taking money from blue states and all this other shit. We were talking
oh
about
yeah, Texas Patriot. Like if there is math, like you said, like no one's done math. I mean this genuinely. Like I would have any conversation about math, truly. I just don't think you're correct about it. But I think what we all need to remember when we go away from this live, when people say, "Oh, I thought everyone was going to get kicked off their health care. I thought all these Medicaid work requirements were going to ruin everyone's lives." The way the big beautiful bill is scheduled, they don't go into effect until after the midterms. So the plan is, all these people in rural areas who don't listen to lives like this are going to be like, "Oh, well, I still have my health care.
Mm-hmm.
Everything must be okay.
Everything must have been a lie. Everything that I heard was a lie. So I'm good."
So I don't know how we're going to get this information out
It's
there.
going to have to be where people just continuously talk about what the timeline is. Faith, what? Where people just continuously talk about the timeline over and over and over again so that as many people as possible see it. Because yes, most of the more terrible shit doesn't go into effect until 2027 or 2029. Okay? Like most of the more terrible shit doesn't go into effect until after the midterms and after the end of Donald Trump's second term. So that's just like, but it's going to have to be people just continuously talking about the timeline. And this is how this is going to break down. This is how this is going to shake out. And you have to pay attention to it.
Oh, this is the perfect size.
That's really good.
This has never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the big, beautiful bill. And again, I put this, it's a gift article in the general chat of my Discord. This is from a Washington Post article. I'll look up the title in a second. But this is when things start and begin. The first grift, these are all the promises, like the provisions. See, no tax on tips or overtime, deduction on car. Do you see how it just drops off? That's always what they do, isn't it? Like Trump says he did something and then you get it for right after when the second dotted line is the 2028 presidential election.
Yeah.
So right after you accidentally reelect a Republican, it all stops.
And just so we're aware, those tax on tips is only income tax. Your payroll taxes, you still have to pay that. Okay? So your FISA, your Medicaid, all of that, you still have to pay all of that. Your Social Security, you still have to pay all of that. And it's only for cash tips. It's only for cash tips, and it's not for all
I need to correct that.
Either.
I just need to correct something, and just because I just want to everyone to understand, there's cash tips by definition, which include tips from debit cards and stuff. Yeah, that's a common misconception. Cash tips has a definition inside of bill. So it's not to say it has to be physical cash. It doesn't.
Right. But it like if the tips are taken in and then everybody is tipped out from a pool, those aren't tax free.
Oh, and I agree with that.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, the tax-free part is that it now just gets added into your income. And
it's a deduction.
And businesses can use it as a deduction.
Yeah. It's not like you don't have to report it. Yeah. It's a deduction.
So, like, you all hear these words and you just take it as like, I don't have to pay taxes on tips. Because you do literally no other investigation. This is why I say that you all are the dumbest people on the planet. Because all Donald Trump has to say is, you're not paying taxes on tips anymore. And you will go, I'm not paying taxes on tips anymore. And then he will put in the bill that you're still going to pay taxes on tips. And then when people show you in the bill where it says you're still going to pay fucking taxes on tips, you're like, nuh-uh, because Donald Trump said I'm not gonna.
I know. And just understand because my lovely accountant, Sue, is the best. Her name's Sue Did It on Yelp, on TikTok, if anyone's looking for accountant. There's a list of professions too. If you're under the impression that like because like maybe we get tips on TikTok, right? The parliamentarian file, there's an actual list of professions, and the way the bill is written, it will only be traditional tipped industries like service and things like that. It's not just like, I feel like I get tips, so I can count that as such. You cannot. That's not true. But here's the most important part. We're looking at the green, right? This is the cuts to SNAP and Medicaid. Now, the bill was signed, like up there at the top, bill signed 2025. You can see oh no, sorry. I didn't mean to touch the screen. This first thing is the SNAP work requirements. You can see that went into effect immediately when Trump signed that bill.
Yep.
But the second thing, new Medicaid work requirements. That first dotted line, that's the 2026 midterms. So they actually do not go into effect until after MAGA, who can't read or has no idea what's going on, reelects their representatives in Congress. The SNAP and the real big hit, the SNAP and Medicaid funding changes. That's where they cut everything and everyone loses anything. You can see that is not going to happen until like 2028.
Yep.
So that's what they're banking on, is people are like waiting for this immediate, like horrible thing that is not a coming. Yeah. And I'm going to repost this. Let me look. I have the name of the
green home
article.
Credits and the electric vehicle credits end this year, which is why people are saying which is why you're being told that your home energy bills are going to go up by about $400 and something a year. Because these credits here are going to end. There was a lot of green energy credits in the green home credits here. So like if you were getting some of your power to your house from solar farms in your state, you got a green home credit on your bill for that to take, however much off of your bill because it was coming from green energy and it was subsidized. That's going away, which means now you're going to have to pay for it.
And I'm going to repost the article, right? I'm just going to @ everyone in my Discord. I just sent it to Steve, Facts Don't Matter. So I assume he'll post it in his Discord where the chart, because this is a longer article. It's 9 minutes. You can listen to it. It is called, it's from the Washington Post. When will Trump's big tax law take effect? Here's what to expect, or whatever. Here's what to expect. And I'm sending this to Matt, and he can put this in his Discord. And like we're saying, I think the most important thing we need to make people understand is this. Like, that is their plan. Let everyone think, oh, I guess it's not that bad. Or states can afford to pick up the slack. Like, I haven't lost my Medicaid. And then it hits after. So that's the question of the midterms in my mind. We can, and I don't know how much of a dictator Trump, like we said, we need a supermajority to overcome his veto. But if we want any chance of this nightmare stopping in the green, then that's what the midterms are about. Do you want a check and balance against Trump? So people who have enough of a spine to at least try to stop him.
You know what is permanent, though? That doesn't show up on here because it doesn't go away.
What?
You know what's permanent is that tax cut for the top 1%.
Corporate, billionaires, for
permanent.
Sure.
That
in
does not
perpetuity. End. That's a big word, MAGA. That means forever.
Yeah. So that was permanent. Notice how like your higher deduction for seniors ends after 2029. No tax on tips.
Trump's fake no tax on Social Security in the form of a fake senior deduction.
Yeah. That ends. This ends. This ends. This ends. Right? You're not you all this is what Republicans are banking on, is that you're too dumb to know that you just got played. And that the rich are going to get stupid wealthy while we are all begging for scraps.
Oh, and maybe people don't understand this. So if you look, like, it starts at the top when the bill was signed, and then the latest thing is 2029. Understand, this is a 10-year bill. Our tax plans are 10 years. So what we're saying is the yellow is kind of all these promises of Trump, and they don't. Right? That's what we're trying to say. The poor and middle class, his promises are just temporary, right? But for the rich, that's permanent. In perpetuity.
Forever. Yep.
Why and like Trump said, the Democrats are trying to cut your taxes. No, the reason that we had to do this whole thing now is because they were set to expire the first time.
Right.
That's what it was about. It was Trump calculating like, oh, well, someone will get reelected, and then they'll drop off. Like, that's exactly what happened the first time. It's just a little temporary, like, let's give them something and make them think it matters.
Yep. And you all bought it. You bought it.
Hook, line, and
if
sinker.
only there were thousands of people that were out on the internet every fucking day for 2 goddamn years telling you that this was going to happen. If only people had the foresight to read and believe them when they said things, then, we wouldn't be in this situation. But again, here we fucking are. So, yeah.
In no way is this depressing.
Yeah. And again, I wish I had a simple fix for everybody where I could be like, if we just did this, it would fix everything and it would be fine. But that doesn't exist. The simple fix, I said this in a video a couple of days ago, the simple fix was in November. And we had an opportunity in November to avoid all of this. We had an opportunity to avoid every single bit of it. And the country didn't go with it. There was probably some little things going on with Elon Musk and Starlink, but the country didn't go with it, right? And that's the whole thing, right? That's the whole thing. The country didn't go. That was when we had an opportunity to prevent this. What we do now is we have to lean on our communities, and we're going to have to ride this shitstorm out to its final conclusion. And it's going to require people paying attention, documenting what's happening, and recording history, because these are all going to be things that people are going to have to learn about. Okay. And when I say you lean on your communities, that's going to become important, because those work requirements for SNAP, those go into effect now, immediately. So there are already people that are losing their ability to go and get food for their families. So because our government cares more about the top 1% than the bottom 99%, it now falls on all of us to take care of one another.
Call that in communism mutual aid.
Mutual aid. Yep.
Just saying.
And that's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. And it's going to take this this ridiculous ending of the idea of the middle class. The middle class doesn't exist. It never has. Okay? The middle class is a term used by the ruling class to separate the working class. We're all the working class. You're not a capitalist. Okay. Yeah. I hate to break it to you, Joe Schmo with the Trump flag and your red MAGA hat. You're not a capitalist. You're labor. Okay. Hate to break it to you, buddy. Hate to break it to you. You are literally no different than me. We are both labor. We are both working class. There is no middle class. There never has been. The middle class was a term coined by the top 1% to keep the proletariat fucking separated, because the middle class can be like, I'm not poor, I'm middle class. No, stupid. No, you're still poor. You're just not as poor. Okay. You're still not well off. You're just a little better well off than somebody else. That's all that is. It was a way to just keep the fucking bottom 99% from fucking working together. It's fucking, what is it? A Bug's Life or whatnot with the grasshopper?
Yeah.
It's like, if it's one ant, that's fine. But if all these ants start working together, that's literally what it is.
All the power. What is it? There's like 1,100 billionaires or something in the world. Yeah. And everyone else.
In the world. There's 8 billion people on the planet. 1,100 of them are billionaires. Think about that for a second. 1,100 people have more money than 99% of the planet. Think about that shit. This is so. What can we do? Stop feeding into this idea of a fucking middle class. There is no middle class. There's working class and there's ruling class, and you're in either or. That's the only binary that exists in this country. You're either working class or you're ruling class. That's it. There is no middle ground. There is no middle class. You're either a capitalist or you're labor. Period. That's what we live in. That is our country. Period.
And stop buying into deregulation helps people. But deregulation is trickle down economics, right? Deregulation is legal pollution. It's not fixing train brakes. It's a form of trickle down economics. And by that, I mean trickle up, right? Deregulation is consolidation of wealth and power at the top of the economy. That's the biggest, Robert Reich did like a 5-minute video on that. That is so good. If you support
deregulation, just admit that you don't care if our rivers and waterways are so polluted that they can catch on fire. And if you're like, well, that could never happen, bitch, that is exactly why the EPA was created in the first place, because the river going through Cleveland was so fucking polluted that it caught on fire. That's why regulations came into being in the first place. Because again, like relying on the integrity of Republicans, if you rely on the integrity of corporations to just do the right thing and not try to cut corners to make a profit, then you're going to be disappointed every fucking time. Okay? Every fucking time.
And recognize the
Cuyahoga
pattern.
River. Thank you.
Robert Reich talks about this, right? Because the problem is deregulation happens and then Maggie's like, I thought you guys said everything was going to fall apart immediately. No, right? Because the economy, it's under stress, right? We don't know. That's what happened in 2008 with the baking industry. There was a bunch of deregulation. People started, giving out all these mortgages that weren't backed by real assets, right? And the economy was stressed. And then there was the breaking point. And understand this. What is a recession? What it is to billionaires is a huge transfer of wealth to the top of the economy. It's a fire sale. It's the best yard sale of all time. Understand the sine wave. That's math. Sine waves are math. The sine wave of capitalism, the boom bust. The capitalists love the bust. That's where they buy up things real cheap. That's where they buy up put their hotels, on Madison Avenue in the Monopoly game, right? They love the bust. That's the transfer of wealth. We can't pay our auto loan, our home loan, all that stuff. They snap it all up.
Yeah.
The point is the bust.
And that economic bust, that bubble bursting in 2008 didn't start at the beginning of 2008 and then burst in 2008. That was years and years and years of irresponsible, unregulated lending that caused relying on corporations and, for-profit banks to just do the right thing and not cut corners to try to make a profit, which is exactly what the fuck they did. And then they ruined the fucking economy. And what did we have to do as the fucking taxpayer in this country? Fucking socialism to bail them out. Be like, all right, y'all got a little reckless there. We're going to bail you out this one fucking time again for the third time. That's what we do every fucking time.
And understand
you all
why.
love capitalism until it's like, oh, capitalism, the housing market crashed and the economy's going under. We got to save it. So how do we save it? Not by more capitalism, by socialism.
It's so ironic, isn't it? And understand this, because it's like the economy is like turning a cruise ship, not a dinghy, right? So conservatives pass legislation that puts the deregulation, puts the economy under stress, right? And it doesn't happen immediately. It takes years or a miscalculation and then a disaster or like a pandemic. And then here comes the recession. Then it's blamed on Democrats. Just understand, Democrats pay down the deficit. Since Clinton, that's what we do. Conservatives pass legislation, stress out the economy, blow out the deficit. Democrats enact plans to pay it down. If you don't believe me, you can look it up. But that's the point. Because the economy's turning slowly, then a Democrat's in office, here comes a recession. You're like, Obama did this. No, that's not what happened.
Right.
But we have to clean it up.
But again,
right? That's the reality. And one more thing about the socialism, because I think this is important to know. People try to blame Obama. People be like, Obama bailed out those banks. Just understand why. The biggest lesson from the Great Depression was we waited too long. If we don't, we used to have fiat currency. We used to have the almighty dollar. We read, not so much anymore. But because we have a powerful currency, what we learned from the Great Depression is if we don't immediately use socialism, infuse the economy with currency, that the recession compounds upon itself. That's what happened in the Great Depression. That was the lesson. So if you're ever wondering, like, why are we immediately bailing things out? It's because that's what we learned in the Great Depression. We're like, oh, it's going to correct itself. It was not correct itself.
Right.
And that's why third world countries can't recover from economic disaster, because they don't have powerful currency to infuse into their economy to turn it around. So that is why because believe me, I get annoyed by the socialism for the rich and corporations as well. But that's why, because the people who will suffer are essentially the rest of us. I was going to say the poor.
It's not Elon Musk. It's not Elon Musk that's going to suffer. All right. Again, all of the billionaires in this country grew their wealth by like 10% during the pandemic. All right. Every single one of them. The rest of us were struggling, suffering, trying to figure out how the fuck we were going to survive, but waiting for the government to be like, okay, here's $1,300 for 6 months. Good luck. Right. Meanwhile, billionaires were making bank.
Oh, absolutely. It was one of the largest transfers of wealth in U.S. history in the pandemic. Or, actually, I'm sorry. It wasn't unique to the U.S. It happened all over the world. Right. But yes, when crisis happens, when economic recession happens, transfer of wealth to the top of the economy. It's all a pattern. Economics is just a pattern that you can track. Like, I just see patterns, and it's all very simple and very clear. And this is where I think, just one more point on this, where you'll hear libertarians on the right. It's like they're thinking, but they don't think far enough, right? They're like, God, every time we just keep printing money and it's diluting our currency, and that's bad. I agree, but the problem isn't the printing of money. Like, they believe that's socialism. The problem is that the money's not recirculating from the top of the economy. We have to print money because wealth is concentrating up there and never coming back down. Over 60% of the wealth in the U.S. is now just inherited. Right. And as long as we tax income higher than capital gains, it will stay up there. And if an emergency happens, either we print money or us, the poor, die. So those are the options.
Yep. So that's crazy. Yeah. When you subsidize the working class American, they reinvest it in their local economies. Every single time it has happened, that has been the outcome. Every single time. When you subsidize the top 1%, they hoard it. They do not reinvest it in the economy. They don't reinvest it in their businesses, which is what you all think that they're going to do. They hoard it in assets. That's what they do. Period. All right. So, like, all of you are like, oh man, look at that person on Snap who's with the newest iPhone. Yeah, because they probably got their tax refund and went and participated in the economy with it. Was it the smartest thing in the world to do? Probably not. But the point is that they get money and they reinvest it back in the economy. Right? That's what we do as the working class.
Well, and 2 points on that, because, well, first of all, consumerism is evil, but that wasn't my point. But understand that first point, you will never get out of poverty without a smartphone or access to the internet in this country. I just want to say, a basic human right is access to the internet. You want people to get back to work and get a job. You have to do that with access to the internet. That's why it's so important we get high-speed internet to rural communities. If you do not have a smartphone in this world, you cannot function, you cannot work. So people should have, I fully support everyone. If we wanted to lift people out of poverty, we'd give them all a supercomputer. That would be step one, right? I mean, that's the truth. But the second part of consumerism is understand that SNAP money, when we give out what you guys call welfare, what happens with that money? Where can they spend it? Walmart, grocery stores, right? It's just money being reinvested into the economy. It's not sitting with them. It's continuing to just fuel the economy and circulate. That's a good functioning market. The money that's stuck up there, that's the stuff we have to worry about. Anyways, I think we've gone over though, right, Matt? Is it time?
We have, yeah, by about a half hour.
Yeah, time flies when you're having so much fun.
So much fun. Oh my God.
So much amazing fun.
No, this was a good live though. We got a lot of stuff. We talked about a lot of stuff. So
let's just stick together. Stick
together.
I know it's kind of grim, but
how we're gonna get through this is
it's grim. Thank you so much, Tina. Can I just say cat mom in the comments? I love Irish swearing. When you said feckin', I love the Irish F word. I don't know why that stuck out to me, but it's the time is now for Irish swearing for sure. So
yes,
it's always time for Irish swearing. Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate you. Unless Matt has something going on, we'll be back next Tuesday at this new time. 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And I'll be doing the people's receipts tomorrow again. And we'll go through, I'm going to get these clips of what we were talking about earlier about the vote on Epstein and stuff. That's what I'll be clipping. So we'll go through all that stuff and the debates on the House floor and all that